Yes. Welcome back to another stream. Hope you all had a good night. Obviously, City getting into the semi-finals of the Champions League is massive. Beating Bayern Munich 4-1 on aggregate. I rate it. It's a wild night. I imagine you. I imagine you had a pretty wild night last night. I've not messaged you actually. But however, I've seen he has sent me some stuff, so stay tuned to the channel so you get some sick content is coming.
Yeah, it was a mad night, wasn't it? I thought we played really well. I really do. I thought that Pep Guardiola obviously didn't mess around with the tactics. Similar sort of tactics, although John Stones probably featured more at centre back than midfield.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously, Bayern dominated the ball. And I felt like we made the way that we played, the way that we defended for large parts of the game. I actually thought that we made Bayern just look a little bit out of ideas. They didn't really have many patterns of play where they were breaking us down. There was a lot of long shots again from Leroy Sané. And yeah, just really, really impressed with how we performed. And I said this at the end of the stream yesterday, the end of the watch along, but it felt to me like a performance that was based upon a team that has learned from its experience in the Champions League previously, including the game at the Bernabeu last year.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's definitely, it feels like a team that has taken on everything from the past, and it's kind of molded it into this. We see it just felt like a smart performance from City. Like the way we managed the game, it was almost like time was running out for them, and we were pretty chill. Like, and that's what you need in them kind of games. They needed to score 3 goals, and it never looked like it was coming.
Yeah, I agree.
There's large parts of the game where we started to get on the ball, and obviously the game went how I expected it to go. I expected them to have more possession than us because that's what happened at the home leg, never mind the away leg. I expected that. I expected us to go through these periods in the game where we barely even touched the ball and we just got to resist the pressure from Bayern Munich. Now, we did go through that, but I'm disappointed in Bayern. Like, I really didn't. I didn't think it was anything like Joe. When we've seen the Liverpool Anfield situation, the Liverpool crumble, the Anfield situation where they've got the ball for ages and it's super worrying. I really don't feel like I went through that yesterday with Bayern.
Nope.
Like, I feel like I don't know if they got something wrong, but Choupo-Moting, bro, didn't exist. Which I'm surprised about. I thought he'd be a focal point where they can like long ball it up to him, try and get counter attacks going rapid. But
I don't think that was his fault though. Really, I think they didn't utilize him.
Service. They didn't
First 10 minutes, bro. They were getting the ball down the wings, and it was a clear strategy to get the ball down the wings and get the ball into Choupo-Moting in the penalty area. And after 10 minutes, they kind of just stopped doing it, and it was just like very, very strange. But maybe City made the game strange. Maybe City made Bayern Munich poor in both games. Everyone sat there at home and watched the game, and it's been like, oh yeah, Bayern were ass. What about if City made them poor? What about if it was the way we defended made them look poor? I just said then I was very surprised at the lack of chances, creativity from Bayern Munich. I'm going to give credit to City on that though, and I think the way that City performed. Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish coming back, tracking back, really making it difficult, not giving them space. The way that Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne and Gundogan sort of marshaled the midfield, and also the way that Erling Haaland came back a few times, winning headers and dropping a little bit deeper. And then you look at the centre-backs, the way that Ruben Diaz defended, John Stones defended was excellent. So maybe it's the way that City defended yesterday was very, very good. And I come back to it again. That performance yesterday would not have happened. We wouldn't have been as good as yesterday if we didn't get beat against Real Madrid last season. I'm convinced, I am absolutely convinced that performance was built upon a foundation of learning from our mistakes in the game against Real Madrid last year. Yeah. I don't think if that game doesn't happen last year, I don't think we put that performance in yesterday. Because did you hear all the players? I don't know if you watched the interviews. Have you watched the player interviews after the game?
No.
Watch the player interviews. Listen to Kevin De Bruyne. Listen to Bernardo Silva. They both say the same thing. They both say and they're not together, they say this separately, that in previous Champions League campaigns, they've felt like in the Premier League that they've got to dominate the ball. They've got to be on the edge of the opposition's penalty area all the time, creating chances, scoring goals. And now, but what they both said is, we've realised that we don't need to do that anymore. We've realised that we can just, we don't have to have the ball, that we're happy not to have the ball. And we can defend as a unit, as a team, and we can defend. And we have to defend in the Champions League. We don't need to dominate the ball. We don't need to have 60, 70% possession like you do in the Premier League. Yeah. And why do you need to do that in the Premier League? Why? Because 95% of teams in the Premier League come to your ground and sit on the edge of your penalty area.
Yeah.
Whereas that doesn't happen in the Champions League. I mean, look at all the space that we had last night in behind their defence. So you don't actually need to dominate the ball. You could probably get away with like 20, 30% of the ball the way that teams pressure. So the team has learned. It's evident through the way they've played. It's evident through the way that they speak after the games. And that's really, really important, of course, because as you all know, our next game is against Real Madrid and it's going to be tricky.
I feel like it's a strange one because we're coming back to Real Madrid. It could be the biggest learning curve that you see from City. It's basically we've got another chance in another semi-final against Real Madrid again. Is this the third semi-final now with Real Madrid? We had one with Pellegrini, didn't we?
Yeah, third semi-final Real Madrid.
Wild that. I just think that's a massive opportunity there to show that we have learned. I think yesterday, I don't think we need to show that we've learned in that game because yesterday kind of proved that to me. And it's good, man. It's good to know that. It's good to know that we've learned from that Madrid game because even just game management wise, bro, we just look better. We just look better. Like I said, the game was falling from Bayern's feet yesterday. And that's what we wanted the whole time. We got to half time, it was 0-0. They had a chance, obviously, just before half time, which another Diaz block. But I just really feel like we limited them to nothing. And I feel like you said before, we've got to credit ourselves for that. Not credit Bayern for being poor, but credit us for making it difficult.
I agree.
It's just died. Second.
Big up Zay with a 4 month says, how's Ake looking? Man or machine? After the game yesterday, this is what he said in an interview. He said, I've had this happen before and it feels a little less, to be honest, but you never know. So we will do the ultrasounds and stuff tomorrow and then hopefully it's not too bad. So he's going to get scanned today. I guess the team will fly back to Manchester. I don't know if they flew back yesterday or they flew back today, but they'll be back in Manchester today. And I'm sure Ake will go straight to the medical department, get a scan on his hamstring and see exactly what's going on. But the fact that he's saying that it feels a little bit less than normal, that sounds pretty good. We just have to hope that it's not a serious issue. He's obviously going to miss, he's probably going to miss both the Sheffield United game and the Arsenal game. To be honest with you, it's not the worst timing in the world. It kind of is and it kind of isn't because you don't really need Nathan Ake for Sheffield United. You need him for the Arsenal game. That's the big one because he's pocketed Saka. But you don't really need him for Fulham. You don't really need him for West Ham. You don't really need him for Leeds. So he's got, for me now, I'm looking at the Real Madrid away and saying, yo, listen, I need you back for that game. I need you back for Real Madrid away. Obviously, I want him for the Arsenal game. I'm not saying I don't, but it's looking like he's not going to be available for that. On the grand scheme of things, out of the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, there's only really one game that I'm looking at thinking, fucking hell, I wish I would have had you there, and that's Arsenal. You know what I'm saying?
Is there a scenario where he's available for Arsenal? Patrick Holly in the chat there says, according to reports, this is Patrick, by the way. Hopefully it's good down under. Ake's a hamstring strain, innit? So, and he was able to walk off the pitch. But then again, I think a hamstring should walk off the pitch anyway, don't you? Like, you just hobble off. Yeah,
it's a difficult one to say, and I don't think there's any real use in speculating at this point. I think we just have to wait.
That's right, actually. There's no point us sitting here trying to say, oh, yeah, he can play against Arsenal because we don't have a clue.
No. In my opinion, he's got a hamstring injury. He's not going to be playing next week.
I don't think we'll see him for 2 weeks. I reckon they'll probably look at Madrid to get him back for.
Yeah, I think Madrid's the one. And like I say, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the worst thing. But this is why I always say, man, I always say this, bro. I always say, resting players, yeah. He's good rest players, yeah. It's always good to rest players. But ultimately, if a player's getting injured, Ake has played every single game this season pretty much, yeah. Every single game. he got rested for the last match and then gets injured in his next one with a hamstring injury. So it's what I always say, like, que sera, isn't it? You know what I mean? What will be, will be. If a player's going to get injured, a player's going to get injured, and you can rest them for a game. You can take them out for a game. You can take Haaland off. You can rest Haaland against Sheffield United. But then you could just pick up an injury in training.
Yeah.
Like, so that's why I'm always a bit like, yeah, rest players and that. But ultimately for me, it is what it is. Liverpool won the Premier League and they didn't rest a single player that year. They pretty much played the same.
They went through the whole season pretty much injury-free. Because remember, we had a few injuries, and I remember us being like, how are we getting these injuries and we're rotating and they're not, and they play the same team every week. Yeah. But yeah, like, it's a shame. It's a shame that it's happened, but it's just unfortunate. It's not because we've hammed him out. Like I say, we rested him last time. If we would have played him in the last game and then he played this game and then got injured, people would have been saying, we should have rested him in the last game. Like, it's just, it's one of the things that you look at and just go, it is what it is.
Yeah. Big up King Haaland, the real GOAT with the 5. Yes, says he's disputing all of the GOATs, is King Haaland. Says, I want the best players to play on the biggest stage, but imagine if Junior and Benzema get injured, we will violate Real Madrid 10-0 on 2 legs. Yeah, I mean, I think Vinicius Junior arguably is more important to their team than Benzema. I don't know if that's controversial.
No, I think you're right. I think Benzema's had a. I was listening to a Real Madrid fan, and they said that he's had a little bit of an off year in the first half of the season. Second half of the season, he's starting to cook again now.
Yeah, of course, like he's mint Benzema. Don't get me wrong, he's one of the best strikers in the world. But I think in terms of their actual team, I actually think Vinicius Junior is probably more important, and I think Vinicius Junior is one of the most underrated players in the world. I think he should be up there, being spoken about with the Mbappes, the Haalands. I think he's absolutely world class. So yeah, I mean, obviously for City being massive positive if they're not available, but
Rodrigo's very good as well for them. He's very good for them. I think Valverde's with it's scary, man. They've got such good players. But we've got good players too. So isn't it crazy? Like after the whole, obviously the last year with Real Madrid, we've got that to look at. But then we've also got the fact of there's a little bit of a sprinkle of Erling Haaland kind of beef in there because it was all Real Madrid for Erling Haaland. They were super confident that they were going to get him, and then we ended up getting him kind of thing. So I'd imagine he's the guy to knock them out. Like, it's a mad one. I hope that happens. But it just adds an extra little bit in it. Tone in the chat said the amount of hate Junior and Saka get is ridiculous. I really like Vinicius Junior. I didn't know he got hate. I didn't know he got hate. I genuinely think he's unreal.
I didn't know Junior got hate. I knew that he didn't get the respect he deserves because, like I say, for me, I think he's up there with Mbappe and the Haalands. I genuinely do. But I didn't realise he got hate. So that's new to me. Saka is an interesting one because have you seen Saka's away record in the big games?
Oh no. Good or not good?
No, it's shocking.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a terrible away record, man. Someone sent me. I think I might have put it in one of our chats. Actually, I'll try and find it. Yeah, we've got a super chat here from Anthony with a 5. It says we have every backup for each position on our team. Laporte would be good for the rest of the year. See. Not for me. I disagree. I don't know. Again, I don't know if I'm in an unpopular position here, but I don't think Laporte's a good left back.
Laporte ain't left back.
And I don't think he's good enough in the left-sided centre-back position as well. And the reason I say that is he's not quick enough and he's not agile enough. You got to understand, when he's out there on the wings, he's playing against agile, quick, tricky wingers. Players like Saka, players who can twist and turn and are really quick. Laporte's really, really good. He's a good defender and he's great on the ball. But he's not the most mobile of humans. He's quite static and robotic the way he moves. So I disagree. I don't know if I'm out on again controversial or unpopular, but I don't like him out there.
I think Laporte needs a left back next to him.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Laporte should be sat in a back 4, not a back 3. I think that's where he fully excels as a centre back. We've seen yesterday that a little bit of miscommunication. Obviously, I know that he's not really been in the side much, but left, was it Coleman pretty much completely free on that right-hand side? He was just bunched up next to Diaz. Now, I do blame Diaz a little bit for that as well, because Diaz should be telling him there, saying, that's my man that you're marking, move over. but it's times like that where you switch off, where you'll get punished, especially when you're going against someone like Saka. You can't be giving Saka that space. Like, and I've got a mad feeling. Like, it's going to be really interesting to see how he runs it against. Like, for Sheffield at the weekend, I'm pretty chill about that because I'm not sure how he's going to run that anyway. He might try something at Sheffield, but he might go with at Arsenal. Just like if it's going to be Laporte Arsenal, I reckon he'll play Laporte in that position at Sheffield. Just to get it into it, like basically a run up into the Arsenal game because the guy's barely played any football, but if not, it could be Gomez on Saturday. But then for the Arsenal game, it's going to be really interesting to see what he does. My head just says he's going to play Laporte in that left back Ake position. I feel like that's what he is just going to do.
I mean, there are a few options, and of course we'll discuss that. But it's just something that slightly concerns me anyway.
Yeah, look, Laporte, he just doesn't like. It's mad actually because it's done a full like switch. Laporte was the one that used to always give you confidence, and Ake was the one. Well, mainly confidence. And Ake was the one that was everyone would be sweating about when Ake would start. Now Ake is the guy who gives you that full confidence. You know, Ake puts in a shift, and now that Ake's in the bin. We're all sweating a little bit.
Yeah. Big up to Gurpreet with a donation. Says, let's go City. Love from Vancouver, Canada. Up early, bro.
Oh, yes, Gurpreet. The isn't Coachella in Vancouver? Coachella was last weekend and this weekend, so yes, Gurpreet, mate.
Big up John with a 2. Says, yes, JP and Selby.
Selby, like, you don't see Selby? Oh, no, you weren't in the stream. We did a solo stream and everyone said that you've been locked up, so because you're in a prison cell, we was calling you Selby.
Okay.
I didn't know you didn't know that.
To be fair, I should have understood, innit? Says, have a good morning, Brace. Have a good morning, Joe. Big up for the donation, man.
Yes, Joe, mate. Hopefully have a good morning and that. I just seen something then, bro, that I wanted to say, and I can't remember what it was. People in the chat are saying Bernardo left back. Obviously, we will go into this next week for Ham. Bernardo left back. People said he did well against Arsenal in the away leg, but I don't think he did well. Then he get booked like instantly, and then he got roasted. So then we moved him out onto the right hand side. I'm sure we switched it up.
Just a quick stat for you: Manchester City are only the 3rd English team to qualify for semi-finals in 3 straight seasons.
That's mad.
Which is crazy, isn't it? So,
who do you reckon the other ones are? Obviously, it's not going to say, is it? But
probably United.
Probably got to be United, isn't it?
United, Chelsea, Liverpool. Probably one of them. It's not going to be Arsenal. It's not going to be Arsenal, is it? There we go then. There we go. City into the semi-finals. Real Madrid. I think it'll be there soon, before you know it. So, prepare yourself, man, because it's going to be a hectic month still.
Oh, what is it, 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah. I think it's...
or is it just like basic... Well,
first or second week of May, innit?
So we have next week free, and then it's...
no, not next week free, because we've got Arsenal next week.
No, but I mean like next week free from Champions League football is what I meant.
Oh, Champions League football, yeah. So we've got Sheffield United, Arsenal midweek, Fulham at the weekend, West Ham midweek. Then you've got a week off.
Right.
You got a week off. Leeds, Real Madrid, Everton, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Chelsea, Brighton, Brentford, FA Cup final, should you get there, Champions League final. The running is confirmed.
Did you know the last game of the season? When is it this year?
28th.
Oh, it's because of the World Cup, innit?
28th.
28th of May.
Yeah, then you've got the FA Cup after that, and then you've got the Champions League after that.
Because it's usually like the 13th or 14th, innit?
Is it? I don't know. I thought it was always later on in May.
No. I'm sure it's the 13th or 14th for the end of the season usually. I'm sure that's when the title winning season. I'm sure that was May the 13th. I could be chatting absolute shit. But yeah, for some reason I thought it was earlier in May than it finishes. Yeah, it's pretty mad that. It's pretty mad that. Oh, it's just everything goes thick and fast, isn't it?
I know. Big up to Van Vidal there, coming in the Xtra Club. Appreciate the support, bro. Thank you very much, man. Big up to everyone else who's in the Xtra Club and helping support the channel grow. Big up to everyone there. So there we go. City into the semi-finals. To be honest with you, we all expected it based on the 3-0 win at the Etihad, but we came through yesterday. We dealt with their pressure very, very well. Very impressed by the team performance. Thought everyone played really well. I'm super impressed by Akanji. And of course, we've got the player ratings later on. So make sure you come into the player ratings, man. It's going to be a madness. I'm looking forward to doing that. I thought Akanji was good, so we'll give him some big love there. We got Addison making a couple of big saves again. So, yeah, man, it's been a good day, been a good night. City into the semi-finals, and Real Madrid, yet again, are our opponents in the semi-final. Should we beat them and get to the final, one of the Milan teams will be our opposition in Istanbul. It's going to be a great chance to win it. If we can get past Real Madrid, we really have to favour Manchester City in the final. I'm getting excited, bro. I'm getting excited.
When you said that, bro, that got me gassed.
It's one of them, innit? Because Inter Milan and AC Milan, they're both good teams, right?
Great teams.
City should be able to beat both of them, no problems.
If you're going to beat Bayern and then beat Real Madrid, bro, you got to go beat one of the Italian teams.
I know.
It's you got to, man.
2Ks, like one game at a time. I know.
Yeah, it's hard just to go forward, isn't
it? Because this is what happens, man. When you're on for the treble or the quadruple, right, which we have been on years, you start to get gassed. But you've got to stay focused on the next game. Sheffield United, that could be a big banana skin. We've lost against Wigan at the final of the FA Cup. You know, we've been beaten against poor teams. And you probably could argue that Wigan were worse than Sheffield United are. So we need to go into that game. And the thing is as well, the Sheffield United game, you know, they're pretty much qualified for the Premier League now. They've pretty much been promoted. So, you know, they're going to be coming there with a point to prove. They're going to want to test themselves. So we've got to go there on Saturday and take no mercy. Take no mercy. If we go there, play our strongest team and beat them 5-0, and people say, "Oh, you've been disrespectful," I don't give a fuck. I want to be disrespectful,
mate. I want to win everything.
I don't want to take these guys lightly, man. We've got to take Sheffield United.
If anything, we're showing them more respect by playing our full strength.
Yeah, definitely. Big up to Robo with the 2. He says, "I'm City and Madrid fan, but I want City to win."
Yes,
Robo with the 2.
That's the vibes we need.
That's the vibes we need. Right, guys, buzzing. Drop a like on the stream. Subscribe to the channel as well if you need a bit of an update. Last night's watch along is now officially our second most liked watch along of all time. It needs about 200 likes to get to our number 1 spot. So if you've not already watched the watch along, if you didn't watch it back, go to our watch along last night and just click the like button and see if you can get it into number 1 spot. We'll be back in a couple of hours with the player ratings, so don't miss that. It's going to be a madness. And yeah, I guess we'll see you there. See you later.
See you in a bit.